All right. It is me and my education partner. I am Michelle Renee, and this
It's
is
Aquila in the house.
all right. Aquila Graves, Aquila Sadala, the musician, the educator, the grandmama, mama, the midwife, the doula, the educator, and many other wonderful things. Thank you for being on here with me and having this conversation.
Thank
Today's episode is about summer literacy tips for parents. We are
you.
about where we are. We've started summer break, and when we get back from this commercial break, this intro, we're going to tell you why you need to make sure that your children are still learning. But first, let's hear from the Female Solution Network, which is the reason why we're here. Here we go.
Women have the power to transform this world. We can end crime and violence if we all agree to do one thing: share. Let's share our wisdom, share our time, share our talents, share our finances, but most of all, let's share our love. This is the Female Solution.
And this is the reason, love. I'm Michelle Renee, host of Education Nation, live on the Female Solution Global Network every second and fourth Sunday from 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. The intention of Education Nation is to raise awareness about the literacy crisis and to offer information to combat the problem. The goal is to awaken an army of reading coaches and mentors. You will experience guests who are doing their part in the community to ensure youth in their circles are reading and thinking critically. I look forward to serving you in this capacity. Literacy is freedom, and Education Nation will offer information and strategies to help ensure our young people stay free. All right.
That was
So,
awesome.
yeah, I think this is an important topic. Actually, everything about literacy, the literacy of our young people is important.
I
We
agree.
need to keep abreast. So let's start with this. Um, okay, so according to the research, elementary school students can experience a decline in math by up to 70%, and reading can decline about 2 months, sometimes even longer during long school breaks. So even though we're on summer break, our children are on summer break, and you may even be traveling, it is important that students don't lose that time. And all we got to do is just make sure that they are reading over the summer. It's not
Yeah,
that difficult.
Michelle, I agree with that. Having homeschooling my grandchildren, for them, automatically, school is off the table. It's summertime.
Yeah,
No, but one thing for sure, our children learn from repetition.
they
And
do.
must constantly and with a rhythmic flow keep
Rhythm
as
and flow.
learning before them as we possibly can. So reading is
Hmm.
fundamental. It shows up
And
in every aspect of our
yes,
life.
yes, yes, absolutely. And there does not have to be a lot of in-depth and detailed teaching going on in the summer, but we need to make sure that summer slide doesn't happen. A summer
Mm,
slide is a term meaning the loss of learning that can take
mm,
place during a summer break if
yeah.
students are not engaged in some type of educational activities. Now, granted, children need to move around more in the summer, especially if you live in the Midwest, because they're kind of locked in and contained in the wintertime. So they need to be able to run, jump, climb, scream, holler, and shout. So when you take them out to do all of that, take a book with you. They can
Yeah.
read in the park. So
Yeah.
experts say that much of reading gap is seen in with ninth graders even
Mhm.
nationwide, and they
Yeah.
can be tracked to an unequal access to summer learning opportunities during their elementary school years. And reversing that summer slide, it can be as simple as reading books.
As simple as.
Just as simple as that. Make sure your child has a reading list. You can create the reading list or you can look it up online. You can
Mhm.
find a reading list for your child's grade level. It will give you books that are appropriate for your child's grade level, and they are classical books mostly with that they'll see on the standardized test. So
Yeah.
let's prevent the summer slide first by just establishing a daily routine of an hour worth of reading.
And and
Add
and
that to
then
your routine.
remember too, with that, along with the theory or the practice of it, is teaching our children to, number one, love learning. Because
Yes,
our children no longer learn to love, and especially not in any conventional way. Their learning
absolutely.
comes strictly through online, and online is not in depth. It's only
It's not.
surface learning.
It's
It
not.
doesn't
And
really
new
dig in.
research is saying that the large amount of screen time that our children are on that they're on screens so much, especially in Chicago public schools, their learning is online. Many homeschool families, their
Mhm.
learning is online. So in the summertime, they need to be outside. They need to be moving around in the sunshine. And in order for it doesn't have to be a 4 hour every day.
Mhm.
They can read for an hour every day. They can read three times for 20 minutes a day throughout the
Yep.
day, morning, noon, evening. They can read twice for 30 minutes. You decide, or let them decide even. If they can
And
have a say in it, then they will more likely do it.
to add to that too, Michelle, let them choose, but also make sure that it is congruent with your time, because you
Absolutely.
be able to sit there with them while
Yes.
it's not enough to
Yes.
say, "Go read, Johnny." You've
Yeah,
got to
because
sit there and read, because there's so much that comes with reading, namely comprehension. And so
and
be there,
vocabulary fluency.
vocabulary.
Yeah. So
Like,
make sure that I suggest that they choose their own books.
mhm,
No matter what it is. Choose their own books. If they choose their own books, then they're more likely begin to enjoy it. If
mhm,
you can put a couple of books in there that you choose or off the reading list that is put together for their grade level. But for the most part, let them choose most of their own books that will boost their engagement.
mhm, mhm. And don't be afraid to challenge our
Don't be
children,
afraid. Mhm,
because I think
mhm.
that um, what we're looking at is not training the child; is training us.
Yeah,
We
right.
I have to train my mind to
Hmm.
a if it's gonna be 9 a.m., 9 to 9:30, train my mind to that 9 to 9:30, because things
Yeah,
come up and it's so easy to get sidetracked or can't do. So the
yeah.
training is not in the child, because the child will follow suit. The
Oh,
child
yeah.
is
They're very flexible.
yeah, so
Yeah,
you
they're
want
very malleable. They will
to
adjust.
yeah, you gotta regulate. We the
Hmm.
parent, we
Hmm.
must
Yeah,
regulate.
yeah. So summer is a break. Yes, it is a break, but that does not mean that all learning has to stop.
No,
The
no.
studies that I've seen shows that students experience a loss of reading, and it just does not have to be, because all we got to do is make sure that we one um, make sure that time is embedded in our schedules. So we
Yes.
have 10 tips for you. The first
Okay.
one is read aloud together with your child every day.
And you know what can I say to that? Why to me that is so, so important? Because we're modeling for our children. You
Hmm.
know, reading has to be conversational.
Yes,
It's not recitation or
yes,
recitation. It's not recitational. It has to be conversational because that's what make give reading is fluidity. And so being there and being able to model how that sentence should sound
yep,
makes a big difference, and it helps them to really to learn how to broaden their scope with just even identifying more than one word at a time. That
right.
comes from watching and listening to the instructor model how
Yes,
to read.
yes. And make it fun. Have
Make
a
it fun.
conversation. It's the conversation that helps to build one, their vocabulary and their comprehension. They can learn how to draw conclusions, make inferences. All of that comes with conversation, digging into the reading. So we're not suggesting that in this hour of reading that they sit alone,
Mhm.
especially if they're younger, if they're elementary school. Say if they're seventh grade and up, and they already have a love for reading. Yeah, they can certainly read on their own. But the
Mhm.
younger children that are in sixth grade and below, they're gonna need parents to sit there with them, make it fun. And like I said earlier, read outdoors on the front
Yeah.
porch.
Go to the
It,
lake. Yeah.
go to the lake, go to the beach, go to the park,
Yeah.
sit in the
Yeah.
backyard, and let your children read to you
Yeah.
and you read to them also. So, and this also helps to build your relationship with
Yeah.
you,
With
build
your
their relationship with you, build their relationship with words and with sounds.
yeah. And then, you know, that I know my grandbaby, she loves for me to sit with her and read. That makes
Hmm.
reading a bit more exciting for her. And if
Yeah.
without that, reading is boring, she says.
Yeah, because she's younger. So they need your engagement.
That input,
They
they
need,
need
yeah, yeah, and they need to see you enjoying sitting with them and
more. Yeah.
reading because they are taking on your attitude about the whole thing. So it
Yeah.
cannot be a chore. You got to enjoy it, and they've got to feel you enjoying it.
Mhm.
So you talked a little bit about our tip number two, which is set a good example. But parents must be willing to model the behavior for their children, and we're just talking about reading. So keep
Mhm.
lots of reading material around the house. Turn off the TV at a certain time during your scheduled reading time. Turn
That's
everything off.
really
Put
good.
the phones down, and have
Yeah.
each person in the house. They should be sitting down reading, including
Yeah.
mom and dad, including Ima and Abba,
Yeah. Yeah.
including
Yeah.
mama and daddy. If they're in the house, they should also be reading. The children need to learn by your example. They need to see you reading.
And that speaks to our one of our affirmations about having a high achieving household. That's
Mm-hmm.
where it starts with as a collective, because our strength comes in numbers,
Yes.
and then we become as a family unit. And a lot
Yes.
of times you can say, I don't know if I can do that, but there are so many supports out there
There
that
are.
can really help you to see that you can do this. And
You can.
you know, it's about organizing for
Mm-hmm.
one, and it's about really committing yourself
It's a
to this,
commitment.
the
It's just a
commitment and
commitment.
the intention. The intention and the commitment has to be golden,
Yeah. That
you
that
know.
sets the example. So
And
the
then it gets
third tip, I'm sorry.
no, you go. I'm good.
The third tip that we have for you is to read the same book that your child is reading and discuss it.
Disgusting.
This way you help develop habits of mind and you build a capacity for thought and for insight. It
And
is
see,
important that you read with if your seventh or eighth grader, your high schooler even is reading a book, you need to read that book also so you can have a
yeah,
conversation with them about that book to boost their comprehension, to
because
ensure
you know
that they're learning and understanding.
that's the clue. Because you know, because they read don't mean they understood what they read. And they can be
Exactly.
fluent readers, but that's where your comprehension come in. Did he
Mm-hmm.
actually, for me, how I with mine, you regurgitate. Give
Mm-hmm.
me that.
Mm-hmm.
You
Mm-hmm.
just read this. Now what did it say? What did you read?
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
to have to put it in their own words, and then you know they got it. They know they got it. But
Yeah.
without being able to put it in their own words, it's very hard for them to articulate what they've read. So I
Yeah.
would say
Absolutely.
after each main idea or supporting detail, let's talk it out.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Yeah.
not only talk it out, but let's associate it to something.
Yeah.
You
Absolutely.
know.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
yeah.
So tip number 4 is let the children choose what they want to read and don't turn your nose up at the popular fiction, unfortunately.
Okay.
Because we are trying to develop a love for reading.
Yeah, avid
And in
readers.
order for them to love reading, you gotta choose books that, allow them to choose books that they like. The good thing is, when you take them to a bookstore like a black bookstore, Barnes and Nobles, and or to the library, the books there are wholesome. So make sure wherever they're choosing these books is a wholesome place. That way they won't choose too much of garbage.
Right,
But
right.
they still need to pick their own books if you want them to love to read.
Yeah. That makes all the difference in the world to me because
It
that's
does.
where comprehension really takes latches
Yeah.
on is when they can relate that to something that's real for them.
Yeah.
You can tell me all of this, but if I can't grab it, touch it, feel it, eat it,
Yeah.
it has very little value to me.
Yeah.
And I
That's right.
think a lot of our children don't like to read because there is no valuative substance in the
Yeah.
information that they can't
Yeah.
use it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
how to use it, teach
Yeah.
them how to use the information.
Mhm. And in the process of them picking books that they love, that they want to read, you can also teach them which books have value and which books don't. You can teach them how to choose books and tell them why this particular book may not be a good fit for them, for their mindset, for family values, for their age group. It might be inappropriate for their age group or family values. Just have the conversation.
Yeah,
Don't
because
say, "Oh no, 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 you're not gonna read that book." Explain.
I think that is really, really important. Why? Because our children today, this generation of children,
Hmm.
you have to give some rationale. For us in our time, we kind of just went along with the flow for the most
Right,
part. You know,
right.
with this crew, you got to come, the rubber got to touch the road somewhere, and they want to know the why. And once you've given them the why, you get
Hmm.
more buy-in. You really will,
Yeah,
because in their mind's eye, it was their thought anyway. They're the one that thought
yeah,
of it. You know,
yeah.
meet them where they are. Is that what we
Meet them where
say?
they are, and I
Meet them where
always explain. And even in our day when we were being raised, my mother didn't explain a lot of things, but I think
right.
she should have.
Yeah.
And even as I raised my children, they're all adults now. I didn't explain everything, but I should have.
That's
So
a
I
good one.
don't see any, and in this stage of life, looking back, I don't see anything wrong with giving children an explanation.
Right.
It will
Right.
help them learn to make better choices when you just explain to them.
And then saying I don't know is golden. Because
Yeah,
our children need to know that we are not infallible. They
yes,
need to know that we make mistakes too. But here's how we,
absolutely.
like I tell mine, you got a problem. How you gonna solve it? And
That's
I
right.
give it to them.
I
That's
like
your
that.
now you
Hmm.
solve the problem. And
I
so we're
like
teaching
that.
them to be critical thinkers, and it's going to show up in their reading. It's going to
Yeah,
show up. They're going to
it
see
will.
themselves in that
Hmm.
with reading.
Hmm. And
Yeah.
you'd be surprised when you explain how to make a good choice in the book. Um, Once they get that, they really understand that,
They do.
then they will make good choices on their own.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
won't
Yeah.
need guidance in that. And
Yeah.
speaking of guidance, our children need our guidance.
Hmm.
We don't we can't be our children's friend. We can't allow them to run the household because
Yeah.
there are a couple of reasons. The main reason is because we know that a person's frontal lobe is not fully developed until between 25 and 30. So you cannot let a 12-year-old run your household. You
Yeah.
don't have to be mean and ornery and hateful about it, but you can be firm and you can be kind.
And
And you
shut.
can set some boundaries. Children need to have boundaries. They cannot run
Yeah,
you.
they cannot. They
The
can.
frontal lobe is the part of their brain that helps them to make decisions. They don't make good decisions
They
until
don't.
they're 25 through 30. Even college students, they're just 18 through 21 or
Yeah.
22. They're in this boat too. The
Yeah.
frontal lobe is the part of the brain that helps us make good decisions and control our emotions. And that doesn't close until they are between 25 and 30. So come
And so,
on.
and
Stop
so
allowing our children to run our households.
that's why that is the best rationale as to why reading circles in our home,
Yeah.
reading moments in our home, before they
Mhm.
go to bed. Like if you can't read that straight hour, and the boys can, they'll read 2 or 3 hours. They're avid reader, but the daughter,
Mhm.
that's a whole nother ball game.
Mhm.
So I break it down for her, by the
Mhm.
time she did 15 minutes, it's a
Mhm.
piece,
And that's interesting because when I was raising my children, it was the daughters who loved to read and would read
Mm,
without me even saying, okay, it's time to read. And the
mhm.
sons, I had to coax. My oldest son, I even tried to pay him $5 a book over the summer.
Yeah,
Ah,
yeah, well, she
it
doesn't, but
didn't
she,
work. He just wanted to go outside and run, jump, climb, scream, holler, and shout. So, I paid him the $5, but um reading for him, not because he couldn't read, it's because
mhm,
he just preferred to move. He just
yeah,
preferred to play.
yeah,
He wanted to
and I
play ball. He wanted to jump. He wanted to climb.
yeah, and I think that's probably we might find that might be one of our deficits with our children, is that
Hmm.
reading is too stationary,
Yeah.
and I think so. The idea is to make it interactive.
Yeah.
And
Hmm.
interaction doesn't mean jumping all over the place, but
It
interactive in your
doesn't.
thoughts. How
Hmm.
do how do you integrate your baby's thoughts
Hmm.
into their reading? And that's association, right? What's going
That's
on
right.
in there
Right.
that has happened for you? And they light
Hmm.
up like this because
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
see it.
Yeah.
And if we
Yeah.
see a
Hmm.
correlation, it's over.
Hmm.
They're
I
gonna read the
remember.
next page, next
Yep.
page.
When my youngest three were in elementary school, Pizza Hut had these coupons. Do you remember those? Where if
Pizza,
they read a book, we can go to Pizza Hut and they can
pizza.
get an individual pizza for every book that they read. They had to fill
Real
out these little
individual,
cards for
y'all.
pizza.
Real
Uh-huh.
individual.
But
All
they
right.
loved it. I
Yeah,
mean, they would be in the car reading over summer. Take them
yeah.
to the park
They
and they
did.
sit on a
Yeah,
bench and read. They
yeah.
wanted to get those coupons. So, what kind of incentive can we create? Let's talk about that in a minute after this commercial break. Everybody has a story to tell. And as a self published author, it's time for you to polish your work to increase its value. It's time for you to produce high quality, finished work that can go in bookstores, libraries, and schools. It's time for you to build your story better, to authenticate it. The Jeremiah 9 Writer's Experience will help you do just that. Register at michellerenee.com. This video was sponsored by Stevie Robinson and Preacherhead Ministries at preacherhead.org. Okay, so we're back. So now let's talk about how to create incentives for reading. So it's not really a chore. It's not reading for children who love to read is not a chore at all. My oldest daughter loved to read. She actually didn't want to go outside. She wanted to read, and she took books with her everywhere she went. So, but for those who struggle with reading, and those who don't love it as like we want them to love it, they need incentives. So let's
Yeah.
talk about incentives.
Well, I think incentives first are cornerstones to relationship building
Mhm.
or structuring relationships. Those incentives, because they once put in place, the simplest of incentives, you'll be surprised how far that can take you. But
Yeah.
finding out what does this child, I mean, what floats their boat. And like I said, I got one dinosaur, everything.
Mhm.
It's cars. Somebody over here is dance.
Yeah.
So go find stories about ballerinas or about African dance, and don't forget always to stick some history inside of that reading.
Yeah.
Don't
Absolutely.
forget to stick
Mhm.
maybe something about the climate or the culture of the
Mhm.
people,
Mhm.
so that you can now light some kind of fire under them where they're going
Mhm.
to want to be more diverse in
Yeah.
their selection of readings and want to know, get where they can
Yeah.
learn more. So
Yeah.
that would be, I think, a really great activity is to find out what it is that they like to do and go get some books tied directly to
That's
that.
right. That's right. And
Yeah.
even something as simple as the other day, I did a poetry reading at an ice cream parlor. I'm in Chicago, for those who listening. This ice cream parlor is located at 4252 South Cottage Grove. I'm giving the address because I want y'all to take your children. You order your ice cream and they make it right there in front of you. They have these nitrogen tanks right there in the store, and they make the ice cream in front of you. You see the smoke from the nitrogen tanks where it's cold, and they're making your ice
Yeah.
cream and your milkshakes. You know, if I had a small child now or some grandchildren, which I don't, I would say, okay, if you finish reading these two books, we go to the ice cream parlor.
Oh, y'all, we gotta go. What's
Simple
the address?
thing.
We gotta go, y'all. We gotta go check out that ice cream.
4252 South Cottage
Okay,
Grove.
what I'm talking about.
So create your own incentives based on what your child loves. What do your child, all kids like ice cream. And this ice cream parlor had vegan and regular ice cream. So,
Hey,
but
yeah,
but what does your child like? Make it an incentive for reading a book, for finishing a book or two. Don't make
yeah.
it too difficult, but don't make it too easy either.
Challenge them,
Needs to be a challenge, not too difficult, but it
and
needs to be a challenge.
and to teach our children to be challenged. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
With challenge,
yeah, yes,
with
absolutely.
challenge comes rigor. With
Yeah,
challenge comes that extra quantity X to help to take you not just over the finish line, but well
yeah.
above the finish
Well
line.
above the finish line. That's right.
Well above the
And
finish
to
line.
know what it feels like to complete a challenge, to make it
Yeah,
through, push through it.
finish that page.
That feels great.
It's yeah, and I think it's good. Like with my granddaughter, with her now, she got a chapter book. Okay, now
Mm-hmm.
you're reading well enough now where we're going to finish each time you sit. We're going to finish that chapter. Now,
There
chapters
you go.
only about 4 or 5 pages.
Okay.
But we once we finish this chapter, then you
Uh-huh.
get your break, and we'll pick up.
That's right.
Talk
Mm-hmm.
about it,
Yeah,
and we'll move on. You
that's
know,
right. So
that's
our tip number 5 is to buy books on tape for struggling readers.
yeah.
Or if a child has a learning disability, buy
Hmm.
the books on tape. Now, I I, I don't recommend too much of that, but
Hmm.
listening to a book in the car, um, turning off the television, of course, and listening to a book, but they still need to read the book.
You got to read
So
it.
if I bought, I don't know if they still sell actual books with the tapes. I used to buy
No.
those for my youngest daughter who struggled with
Hmm.
reading. It was a book with the tape, and the library has them. That's
Yeah,
where I
and
got them from.
it's
Barnes and
embedded,
Nobles has
isn't it?
them.
Isn't
Hmm.
it embedded in the book? And they pick
Yes,
the plug and just put
yes,
the plug in.
yes. So for struggling readers, or for those who have a bit of a learning disability, we don't want to discourage them from reading the actual book in print, but you can give them a little incentive and a little assistance by having the book on tape and in print. Or
Hmm.
you can read to your child these books and record it
Hmm.
so they can reread it on their own and listen to you read them. There's lots of things that you can do. Just be
Yeah.
creative. Be
And
willing to be creative.
yeah, another good one. I'm a retired teacher, y'all, so I got a lot of little goodies. Another good one is to have them to write a play,
Yeah,
just
based
to
on the book.
read
All
a chapter
right.
of the book.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah, based on the book. That would be awesome.
write a play, and
And
you
then they can get the
one
family
play for the family.
into
Yeah,
acting it out. I
right.
love that idea. That's great. I love it.
Can I give you another one? One
Yeah,
more.
please.
Okay, here's
Hmm.
another. Okay. Again, I said that we want our children to be diverse learners. Okay, we
Hmm.
really want them to not be afraid to tackle whatever subject that's there, to tackle it according to their abilities and where they
Right.
are. But if you add up all the subjects, life skills subjects, what do you need to know? Well, we do
Hmm.
need to know how to organize. We do need to know how to count, say, even the least of us know how to count some money. Why? So
Hmm.
that we can make connections and make associations. So let's look at that. Let's look at geography. Do you know your neighborhood? And baby girl over there, do you know your bedroom? That's
Hmm.
your neighborhood.
Okay.
And so having them to associate with their reading to their uh, immediate, environment or subject area, whether it's
Yeah,
science, math.
that's a good idea. And then that links into geography, which
Yeah,
could link into so many other social, emotional, and social studies
yeah,
topics.
yeah,
What I
yeah.
have found is that when I teach, I create as I'm teaching. I have a
Hmm.
plan as to what I want this day to look like. But as I'm doing it, other things just pop into my head. Now I can decide to either do some of those things if it won't take me off the path too much that I planned, or I can write it down and do it the next time.
Hmm.
But what I'm saying to parents is the more you create for your children in their behalf, the more your brain will create.
Yeah, yep, yeah. And we're all educators.
Yeah.
We're all teachers. We all have the same capacity
Hmm.
to direct and to lead our children. We
Parents
do.
are the
You
children's
know,
first teacher.
first, first teacher, and so that's where community comes in.
Yep.
You have shows like this for Education Nation, but where we have to understand that it really does take the village.
It
And that
does.
there's no shame in your game to
No
call.
shame.
Hey,
Call somebody. Yeah.
I want to do this, but I'm not
Hmm.
quite getting it. Can you help?
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
then, and then we got to be forthcoming and say, yeah, girl, we got this.
That's right. That's right. That's right. And it won't
Start
take it won't take but a minute and take a little bit. We all
that's it.
start
Just a
small,
little bit.
just a little bit.
A little bit.
So, our tip number 6 is to take your child to the library regularly, but in the summertime, take them once or twice a week.
Yeah.
Every neighborhood in Chicago has a library. Go to your neighborhood library or get in the car and drive to one of the best libraries in the
Yeah.
city. Oh, speaking of best libraries, last week at the Obama Center, that is such a fantastic library. I absolutely love sitting in that library, and your child will too. They have workshops there, they have a community room there, they have so many comfortable chairs. I sat in all the comfortable chairs. I just wanted to know how comfortable are they for real. So it's a really great place to sit and read.
Mm-hmm.
And because it's summertime and we're all closed in the house in the winter for the most part, it's a good place to walk before the library or after. There are a
Yeah.
couple of gardens there. There's a walking path. There's just oh, and there's a play lot. Aquila, I'm gonna take your grandchildren to this play lot. The play. Well, I
Awesome.
was walking around just doing my movements, trying to stay mobile, and the play lot is so amazing. It's like four, maybe five different play lots all in one, and they have so many things to climb and kinesthetic stuff, and yeah,
And
and
let them
so a library visit and a play lot like that. Oh man,
let them tell the story.
yeah,
Let it
write
be
it down.
an oral story, and let
Hmm.
them write. Because
That's
really, if
right.
they read, you want to marry
Yeah,
writing and reading together. They
absolutely.
should
They
be
go together.
they go
It's like
together.
the front and the back of your hand.
And
And
your
if your family's traveling, make sure the children have a journal. They can do a travel journal. Talk
travel
about the ride, with plane ride, boat ride, car ride. They can write
colors,
those things down. What did they do in the car?
they
Who did they
see.
talk to? What did they eat?
Hmm. 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 And
Writing and reading are paired. One needs to the other.
it may seem like it's a lot, but honey, it really does free you up.
Yep,
It
yep.
really does. Because once they get engaged, you don't have to worry about them.
You
And
don't have to worry about them. They will
they
do it on their own, right?
right, TV will be obsolete.
It
They
will
don't
be
have
obsolete.
they
You
have
won't even
no
have to turn it
interest
off. They
in
won't even
TV.
try and turn it
They
on.
turn it on. I'm telling you.
Yes, there is such a world in reading. They will discover so
Yeah,
many things in
yeah.
these books. So
Like,
most libraries, they sponsor a summer reading club.
hmm
And it is usually for a preschooler or school age children. So check the library calendar to see what they have going on. And in the
hmm
summertime in the Midwest area, the libraries have lots going on.
yeah,
Check the
yeah.
calendar for special summer reading activities and events. Libraries also provide those age appropriate lists of summer readings that I mentioned.
And and
Um,
and too, Michelle, let them record their reading
yeah.
recitations and put it on their little email. Give them a little email slot and let them post
Hmm.
so they can see their accomplishments,
Yep.
in real time. And they're going to be
Yep.
eager to read because they want to see what that next video going to look like.
That's right. That's right. That's
So,
right. That's right.
mhm.
Uh, okay, so our tip number 7 is to subscribe your child to magazines like Sports Illustrated for Kids, Highlights for Children, and National Geographic World. And there are others. You
And-
can find them very easily. Just do a Google search. Encourage older children to read the newspaper and current event
mhm.
magazines to keep up of the habit of reading over the summer, and they also develop vocabulary. Ask them what they think about what they read, and listen to what they have to say. Give them your ear. Be attentive. Be present. Listen to them.
And to that, for the parent, you really need to invest in minimal priced online supports.
Yeah.
Okay. There's one called twinkle.com that's excellent. It gives you graphics. You want to know, they have something where they can practice penmanship.
Hmm.
They may have something else to help teach them what the main idea is in a sentence.
Hmm.
But these
Hmm.
it's very minimal. If I'm right, maybe $10 or something a month. But it's very minimal. And then you can find those don't cost you anything online. Not many now like it used to be.
Yeah.
Now everything costs. But you're investing. This is an investment. Investments are not cheap because and you
Mm-hmm.
the greatest investment you have is investing into your children.
That's right. That's right.
It's a
Absolutely.
bigger investment than the house, the car, that. And
Yeah.
so think not that you can't do it because you ain't got.
Yeah.
Get it,
Hmm.
get it,
Hmm.
and watch the outcomes.
That's right. That's right. I love it. So our tip number 8, it's ease the disappointment over the summer of separating from their friends. Some children have phones and they texting their friends and they might even be emailing their friends. But let's go back to the old ways. Encourage them to become pen pals.
Pen pal.
Write
Yeah.
letters. Teach them how to write a letter. The
Yeah.
format for writing a letter.
Right. And write it to
Partner with
you.
That's right.
You
Partner
don't have.
with their friends' parents and
Yeah.
agree to have them become pen pals over the summer. The
Mm-hmm.
phones, every child has a phone, they're playing games, but let this, at least for the summer, let the phones be for emergencies.
Yes. And especially if
And
they're not going anywhere if you're home.
yeah, and when children text now, when everybody texts, we use all these acronyms and abbreviations. So that doesn't encourage reading or spelling or vocabulary.
And,
But if
and
you teach them how to write letters and they become pen pals with their friends from school, then that taps into what we just said about building their reading abilities and it being coupled with writing.
yeah. And we really do want to emphasize monitoring of technology with our children for
Yes,
so many reasons.
so
But
many
I'm gonna tell you
reasons.
this, you cannot punish a creative mind. If that
No,
child is creative, I don't care what you come up with. You can put him in timeout with nothing, and I
that's
guarantee you, if
right.
he sees anything he can get his hand
Yeah,
on, he's going to turn it into a rocket ship, a
yeah.
whole skyscraper, and he gonna get on it and ride it.
That's
So
right.
so
Um,
when creative minds cannot
that's
be shut
right.
down.
For one of the feasts this year, I had a family over, and there was 4 small children, and I think the oldest one was 11, and the youngest was 2. And there was a couple of empty boxes just sitting in the corner. It
Uh-huh.
was a couple of things in it that I hadn't gotten rid of yet, but before I knew it, those children had they emptied the box and stacked the things
Oh,
that were in there neatly against the wall. And shoot, they created
all
a
kinds.
vehicle out of those boxes.
Right, and you'll see. So they not interested. They really the only reason why they're interested as much as they are in technology, in
Because
television,
it's
because they
available for
don't have
them.
it's available, and
Yep,
they're aware of the alternatives.
yep,
Offer them alternative. Now they got a
that's
choice
right.
because without alternative, there's no choosing.
That's
You
right.
are
That's
taking
right.
whatever comes down the pipeline, but with
That's
choice,
right.
and then
That's
we
right.
teach them how to make informed choices, quick decisions.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So now it's time for a commercial break. And then we're going to come back with our last 2 tips. Here we go.
Hi, I'm Naima Latif, and if you're watching this, that means you're one of the 4.6 billion people from around the world who are using an electronic device to talk to people. In these times, people are using the internet to talk to everybody: friends, neighbors, family members, co workers. People are on their cell phones and computers all day long. Now, if you're in business, that is great news. That means you can sell your products and services all day long and never have to leave your home. All you need is a media connection, somebody to connect you to an audience. And that's why I'm talking to you today. We produce programs, and our audience members are people who shop. They buy clothes, food, beauty supplies, cleaning supplies, home repair, transportation services, child care services. Whatever you're selling, they need to buy it. We're your media connection. Just follow this link, and tomorrow you can sit back and relax at home while your business is making you money.
Okay. So now we have our last 2 tips. Tip number 9 is to make trips, short trips or long trips, a way to encourage reading by reading aloud by having the children read aloud during traffic signs. They can read the traffic signs as you're driving. They can read billboards or anything else that they actually see as you're
Mhm.
driving. Show them how to read a map. Everybody uses a GPS these days. Very few people know how to even read a map anymore. Get a map from the gas station, wherever
Mhm.
you're traveling to. Get a map from the gas station. When you go to the museum, get a map of the museum. And once you're on the road, if you're traveling, let them take turns being the navigator.
Mhm. That's a good one. I think another good one too. Woo woo woo. It's just on the tip of my tongue. But with as far as saying with games that they play, they like to do this thing with the cars. You got this car, I got this car. One of the things for me is our children have spatial awareness is a real tough nut for our children for a minute until they,
Mhm.
really get what that looks like. So when we talk about, um, I think reading, if we can put reading into kinesthetic terms,
Yeah.
to really to kind of teach them spatial awareness. What did that look?
Mhm.
Right,
Mhm.
write. Why don't you have them to write a rule book? What's rule number one when you're around three kids or five kids? What's rule number two when you sit at the table? And have them to write it out. They could fix it up as and make it like a poster board like thing, and have them to hang that. You
Okay.
know, when you go in the bathroom, what does that look like? Let them write it
Yeah.
out, draw a
Yeah.
picture. Especially the babies, the little ones, they'll love that.
Yes, they will. Absolutely. Which brings us to tip number 10. Encourage your children to keep a summer scrapbook.
Mm,
Give them a book. It could just be a notebook with art paper in it, or you could just buy a real scrapbook if you want to spend the money on one. But they could
mhm,
tape into that scrapbook souvenirs for the family summer activities and their reading times. They can
mhm,
keep track of the books they read. They can create a wonderful cover for the scrapbook. They can keep
mhm,
track. They can put in um, postcards of places that you visited, either in the city or if you're traveling, to a different city or state. Ticket stubs from a museum or from a concert or from a um a festival in the city. Photographs. Have your children write the captions for each item that they put into the scrapbook and have them read them to you. Read them
mhm.
aloud as you look at the book at the end of the summer. It will be
And,
a
and
great souvenir.
and to finish that serve to finish it out, let's teach them also how to honor their books, how to
Hmm.
have some sense of reverence for the book, meaning throwing it
Yeah,
down the floor, but to
yeah.
really give some respect and regard. Teach them that, So,
Hmm. Hmm.
writing the book, tearing in the book, not acceptable. Can't do
Yeah,
that.
absolutely. Hmm.
And
Absolutely.
again, it'll show itself if we're there at that time watching them. We can catch those little, idiots. But if
Right.
not there, we stand the risk of them developing bad habits that are very hard to break. You know,
Especially if they need to take that book back to the library.
take it back to the library, honey.
You can't take it back like that.
That's right. And
Yes. So I would like to recap. We suggesting that parents spend time with their children 1 hour a day, every day, throughout the summer, to help prevent what educators call that summer slide, where they
mm-hmm,
lose instruction. They
mm-hmm,
their reading scores are lowered. They lose up to 2 or 3 months. Their math scores are lowered. They actually forget, and when they go back to school at the beginning of the school year, the teacher will have to reteach a lot of things,
Yeah.
but they won't have to if you're engaging your children in reading.
Right. And over the weekends, because you lose a lot over the weekends during the school
Over
year
the
as
weekend, yeah.
well.
We have
So
to remember that learning for everybody, but especially young people, is
mhm,
repetition.
it's
So
repetition.
they will lose what they learn if you, the parent, are not
Reinforce.
responsible for making sure that they practice learning. If your
Yeah.
child is the age where they're learning timetables or addition and subtraction and division tables, have them practice those.
Yeah.
Have
All
them
day.
practice those so when they get back to school, they're fresh and they remember everything that they knew when they left, and
Mm-hmm.
maybe a few more things. It's a
Mm-hmm.
parent's responsibility. I see a lot, and this is another topic, so we won't talk about it too much. But I see a lot where teachers are complaining about the behavior problems of children in the classroom. And
Yeah.
sometimes they may have a classroom of 25, 20, or even
30.
30 children, and they may have one or two in there whose behavior is just out of pocket. It may have a half a class of children whose behavior is out of pocket, and they send them out of the classroom to the principal's office. The principal does whatever they do and send them right back.
Really bad.
So what do we do? I am responsible for my child's misbehavior in
Mm,
school. Yes, I'm not there. I'm not there all day. The teacher has to make sure, she goes through the steps of building relationship with him and all of that. But as a parent, what is our responsibility? I want that teacher to let me know when she or he has a problem with my child's behavior so I can deal with that at home.
mm-hmm.
So I'm
Mhm.
adding that. It's another topic, but I'm adding that because our children's education are our responsibilities.
So,
It's ours. If
so,
they're behind in reading, we need to spend more time in ensuring
yeah.
that they can read.
Yeah.
And yes, it's the school's responsibility too, but you better rely on yourself.
Yeah.
You better, if you know, first of all, you should know. I see a lot of children in high school that even graduate high school, and their reading scores are so very low. They're not ready to be released in the world, but they walked across that stage with a cap and gown, audience, witnesses, and they gave them a diploma. But their literary skills are not up to par. My
Yeah.
question is, first, there were 13 teachers who touched that child by the time they got to 12th grade. Why didn't anybody know? And if they knew, why was there not something done about it? But most of all, and I'm gonna accentuate this, why didn't the parent know? And why didn't a parent do something about it if they knew? Why
It's,
didn't they know? If they did know, why didn't they do something about it?
mhm. Because I think we have to destroy the myth that is the school's responsibility to
We have
educate our
to.
children. It is not.
It is
No,
not.
that they are our children. They
They
belong
are,
to us, you know.
yes,
And so the onus of responsibility will always fall on us.
always fall on the parent.
And you'll find that the worst kid in the classroom, that's who mama was always up there cussing you out, got something to say. But your child
Ooh-wee.
schoolwork, he's not showing up, he's a behavioral problem in the classroom, da da da, can't get you here, can't blah blah blah. But the moment
Mhm.
the child has been mistreated in some kind of way, here you come. Parent, that's what we are about. EDU, this Education Nation, we really are about wanting to cause a cultural shift that will take us back to the days that we knew when education was a very important piece of our liberation. Not just
Yeah,
in certain
yeah,
in education. I mean, I'm talking about true education, not
yeah.
the falsehoods that have been stuffed down our throats and in our minds.
And,
But
when you bring that up, then we're also talking about the village. We've mentioned on Education Nation several times that the village
they
is
do got
time for the village to step in. Who is the village? Grandmamas, granddaddies, uncles, aunties,
Miss
neighbors.
Dean, Miss Shirley,
Yeah,
Mr. Roberts,
yeah.
down the line,
Village,
down the
step in.
Uncle
Why
Uncle.
is it? Why does a 12th grader graduate and their literacy level is so low? That should not be in our community.
Not
We
be.
need to stop that.
Well,
It should not be.
let's talk about it. Why don't you put it out there that if you want to send in, some comments, and maybe we need to spend some more time
That's a good
talking.
idea. That's a whole nother segment for sure.
Yeah,
We
and then
definitely need to talk about that.
what other
We've been
subjects
talking about it
later
takes
in
a
the
village to raise a child for a long time.
long time, long.
Too long, actually. Let's talk about that village. But I do want to remind parents to make sure, because our time is almost up, make sure your child reads 1 hour every day over school breaks.
Yes.
That means summer break, winter break, spring break,
7 days a
and
week, not 5.
every day. That
Every day.
could be 1 hour at a time, at any
Mhm.
time that's good for your schedule and the child's. There could be 3 times 20 minutes a day, or it could be twice 30 minutes a day. But
Right.
you, as a parent, needs to make sure that that happens. And I'm not saying give the child a book and you go in the kitchen
By
and
no
cook
means.
and be on the phone. I'm saying the hour that you can sit with them,
Yes.
the
Yeah.
hour you can sit with them. This is 1 hour in a day.
Yeah.
We got an hour. Let's use that hour to make sure our children does not fall into
Yeah.
summer slide,
And then
losing
not you,
what they
somebody
learned.
responsible, somebody else that's responsible. Not the little brother or somebody who can just sit, but somebody who's responsible that can help with still guiding and directing her
Yes,
in her reading or their reading
yes,
while they're reading.
absolutely. Yep. We can do this, y'all. We can make sure that
We
our
can.
children okay. So there's a comment, somebody garden Pamela Gardner says, Miss Graves, your head wrap is beautiful.
Thank you, my sister. Thank you.
The female solution, Naima says, I'm definitely going to the ice cream parlor. Are they open on Sundays? I'm not sure, but I believe they are. Oh, you know what? I
Yeah.
do know that. They're closed on Monday and Tuesday. I know that.
Give me some. I
Go
like
to the
New
ice
York
cream
cherry. I like New York cherry.
parlor. Okay, so um, Aquila, did you want to leave the audience with another tip or so?
Yeah, I do. If I can even plug myself, if I'm allowed to do that. Can I plug
Please.
myself?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. As you all know, some that do, I am a musician as well. And on, I call it July 10th, but it's really July 19th. But I
Okay.
will be presenting a performance called Echoes of the Heart, and it's music written by myself and covers over at Earl's Kitchen, Mays Garden, 6914 South Perry, 5 to 8, July 19th, Echoes of the Heart. It's a listening
Okay.
party. So please go online if you will and make a $20 donation, and you can zell it to Aquila Graves at Gmail, or you can cash app it to the $ Aquila 365. I'd love to see you there, and we can continue. We have books on there that you can look at and may be interested in purchasing. But
I'll
come,
have my books out there. EDU, Aquila, and our other two education partners will have our trust
book out.
the
Yeah. So
process
come
book out there also.
as well. So do
Hmm.
come and join us or go online and please support us so that I can pay these musicians, y'all. Thank you.
And remember, reading at home accelerates a child's vocabulary. It boosts their academic success, and it builds their empathy. Children
Yeah,
who engage with books daily encounter hundreds of thousands of new words, which
yes.
lay a strong foundation for future learning. It also provides a unique opportunity to bond with parents while exploring these new ideas that they're reading about.
And can I leave you with this too,
Yes.
Michelle?
Mm-hmm.
The with my grandchildren, if I give them a word, they hear a word like interrogate. First
Mm-hmm.
thing I ask them, what does it mean?
Mm-hmm.
And then they have to look it up.
Mm-hmm.
And so that helps to not only build their vocabulary, but take the fear out of vocabulary.
Okay.
And they're willing to tackle it, but they'll go and look it up. Now they know. Now use it in a sentence.
Mm-hmm.
And that's, with unpacking their reading as they read, ask
Yeah.
those kind of questions. Find what kind of questions can I ask so that I know that they are getting a well-rounded invitation for learning.
Okay. That makes sense. Yes, absolutely. Very important stuff.
I'm good. I'm complete.
Okay. I am too. With that, we are done. I hope you got something out of this episode, and we will see you again on the fourth Sunday. Education Nation airs live on Sundays, the second and fourth Sunday. However, sometimes I have found that I have had to record sessions and play them not live on Sundays because in the Midwest we're locked in the house all winter, and so
Yeah.
there's so much to do on Sundays.
Yeah. And
So
look
if
out.
that happens, please forgive me.
Michelle is a poet. Let me get that in. So be looking out for her because we'll be showing up. Well, she'll be presenting her poetry as well. I might on July 10th be able to get her to give us an offering. Let us hear one of her poems.
Okay.
I just locked
All
her
right.
in.
She just locked me in. Okay. Bye, everybody. See you
Bye-bye.
later.
See you later.
We've come to the end of our show today. If you missed any broadcasts, go to our website for the audio and video archives at www.thefemalesolution.com. On behalf of our team of radio hosts, I'd like to thank all of you who participated in today's discussions. And to our global family joining us from all around the world, we say thank you. To our family in China, xie xie. India, Dhanyavad. Japan, arigato. Korea, kamsamnida. Russia, spasiba. Germany, danke. Poland, dziękuję. France, merci. Spain, gracias. Italy, grazie. Egypt, shukran. Ghana, madasi. Nigeria, eshe. South Africa, ngiyabonga. Senegal, jaref. Kenya, asante. Israel, toda. Pakistan, shukriya. Afghanistan, tashakur. Saudi Arabia and Palestine, shukran. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Thank you, and may peace be upon you and the mercy of God and God's blessings.